Hello everybody and welcome to another video tutorial. Now in this video tutorial I'll be showing you guys how I actually created the background that you see my ship design in for the 3/4 view. So as you can see, I actually started off initially with a texture that I found online. You can find a lot of textures that are essentially royalty free or don't have any copyrights attached to them. It is important to check that, however. In this case, I'm using this basically to get the basic texture work. I will be painting over the majority of this image afterwards, however. So that is important to keep in mind, is that although I am using a pre-made texture, I often find it's necessary to actually go on top afterwards, depending on what I need as an end result, and actually paint in most of the detail. So as you can see, I want this to have a folded effect. And the best way to do this is to simply paint in areas that I want this folded effect to be in. So what I do is I start off with my basic shading, and then I have to go in and actually blend in all the elements. This texture had a lot of spots in it, and I didn't want to have all those spots in my image. So painting them out made the most sense because it would allow me to soften out the texture that was already there. Even though it did require a bit more time to finish the image because of this. It did end up giving me a much better effect, however, and it was totally worth it. Because I was able to get most of those really rough textures out of the image, and it gives you much more of an actual paper look to it. Now, I did everything on different layers as I worked, mainly so that it would be easier for me to edit and make changes as I worked. This was a huge asset because I was able to change as I went how subtle or how strong some of these folds might be, because I am trying to keep it somewhat realistic in this image. Once I had the basic texture, however, then I was able to go in afterwards and actually start painting in the rest of it. So I started actually, obviously I always look at reference material, and I started looking at old pirate maps and stuff like that. And essentially I added a color burn layer to add the main formations for the land masses. So this actually gave it a really nice texture to the lines, and I'm using a brush that actually does simulate actual pencil strokes much easier. It's what I've used in quite a few of my recent videos, especially for the preliminary stages of a drawing. Now at this stage I'm playing around a lot with the colors for the land masses. It was green, but it wasn't green enough, so I actually go in afterwards and I actually add a color layer to help emphasize the green landmass. So you will see that shortly. So most maps tend to have some pictures on them to represent different areas, something that's actually common practice today even. So I did just make up some really simple pictures to help give that point across. Painted in some of the water so that you can actually see the difference between the landmass and the waterways, and then actually painted in the green portion for the land. So all these tiny little details really do help make this map a little bit more believable and a little bit more realistic for what I'm trying to achieve. At the final stage, I essentially add my ship onto this portion, play with the hue and saturation, and actually mask out certain areas just to make sure that the ship itself pops out more. So this is the final result. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. So thank you and take care.